Ahead of the climate summit here in Copenhagen, ABB, Shell, one of the big advertising companies itself as well. One of the local hotels, very conscious about being a green hotel. And Shell, of course, one of the worst polluters in the world. I shouldn't say that too loudly because I'm supposed to be an objective journalist. So it's only 49 seconds, and you put it together with something like this. And this can be a value added to your blog. So you can, whatever you see, you can film it, and then you can think about it later. Well, maybe I can add it to my blog, or I don't use it at all. So that's one way you can use it. Commentary. You want to tell a certain story. What I do is I use the flip. Let me unplug it over here. I use the flip basically to film myself and have a commentary. And I take the flip on my hand. It will eject. There you go. You record it, and it says over here. And then I do it like this. Hello, I'm Raymond Frenken. I'm giving a training session here in Copenhagen. We're here at the Bella Center, where in 78 days from now, the Copenhagen Climate Summit will take place. And these are the people that I'm trying to teach how to make a little video. So that's a 15-second piece to camera that you could then post on the website. The trick is, when you do this, the focus length of the camera actually is just a little bit further than that. So you would be out of focus. And I've sometimes been thinking about getting a little stick to extend the camera, to hold it up like that. It's an easy way to do it, because if you do a 15-second or 20-second video statement like that, it's only one track with one in and out point. And that's all you have to do in terms of video. And the people see you, you engage with your readers, and you can show them where you are, when you're talking to people or when you're visiting a location. So I'd encourage you actually to try and experiment with that when we are in the Eco Village tomorrow. Does that answer your question?
Not really. I'm just thinking, because a lot of us, I mean, probably most of us are from countries that aren't English speaking. So presumably if we're going to be interviewing people, they won't necessarily be speaking English. So it might be a problem if we can't insert subtitles or do a voiceover.
Well, you could do the interview in your native language and then blog about it in English. And it may force you also to think about what to film, because nothing is easier than filming talking heads. And I do a lot of it. The European Union, the EU for EUX-TV is full of talking heads, so I can get away with it. But I think on a topic like climate change, you don't want to do talking heads. You want to show what people are doing. Okay, you'll show people, but you can show that person maybe on location where he's working, or you can show him next to the heating system in a house where you cannot control the central heating, but where you have to open the windows to cool down the house. You can show things like that.
Can I help out?
Sure.
You can do a voiceover, because you can insert music, which is in MP3 format, so just record your voiceover and then... Sorry.
That is a very creative way of doing it. So you create basically a 1-minute video clip, and then when you create the movie, and where you can add the music track, you don't add the music track, but you add your voice over.
How do you record your voice just directly into the computer?
If you just use Windows software or Apple software to record it as an MP3, and then Flipshare will do it for you.
I will provide you resources on all those very specific or rather specific questions. There are millions of ways to do millions of things in millions of ways.
That's the question here from the press trip that the European Union organized for civil journalists.
I was in Chad in March.
The bases with the Polish in the north, the Irish in the south, and of course the French and here this major base stretching out for about 2 kilometers along the runway at Abedji, the main city in the east of Chad. Now it's no longer the European Union running this operation, but it's the United Nations.
In broadcasting, this is called a rant. It's very easy to do. It means that you can fill 1 or 2 minutes of live broadcasting without having to make an expensive production. That's a technique you can also use to be very, it's very easy technically to do this, and it can save you a lot of time. But if you want to do something nice, you can do the voiceover. And I have one example, and I'll come to your question later.
Yes, but it is not a question.
Yes?
I just, because you don't need to be an expert to put a voice over the things. I mean, I don't know if I can do some names, but you don't need to use Final Cut, but you can use iMovie or Windows Movie Maker. There are two that you always get probably with your computer, and they are there and they're really easy. It's just, you can do everything you want. I mean, even if this is basic, just to download, then there are also a bunch of free programs that you can download, and you can cut and put voiceover on it. So it's just...
Yes. Absolutely right, but keep in mind that not everybody is going to do this, and I'd like this session to make sure that everybody will be able to do some kind of video. If you have the capacity and the capability and the skills to go up, to use Final Cut Pro or Final Cut Express, please do so, but you can do a lot already with this software. And I can show you exactly what you're talking about, also doing a voiceover with the Flip software and using a Final Cut program. And that's the last thing I'm talking about in...
Global media industry is changing rapidly, and that means that traditional media like TV stations
This was the Think report from Rotterdam.
increasing competition from bloggers. Today, the Port of Rotterdam hosts the grand finale of thinkaboutit.eu, an event that over the past 4 months has brought together more than 60 bloggers from across Europe. What does it mean for you to be a blogger?
Actually, the fulfillment of journalism to me, I worked as a professional journalist for more than 15 years, but this is when others run your agenda. This time I really can choose the topics and issues I want.
As a journalist, it's a way to express myself freely without having an editor telling me what to do. To report about things that happen in society and to cover subjects that are not necessarily covered by traditional media.
It's a way of me being able to express my opinions as I see them straight out from the moment I'm thinking of it.
So it means I get to write lots of things that I like to write about and to enjoy writing. But I also enjoy having conversations with people, so I really only target the places where there's going to be readers who will comment and engage and discuss things with me. That's the way I write it.
thinkaboutit.eu was initiated by the European Journalism Centre and it launched in February in Brussels. The initiative wanted to stimulate online debate ahead of the European elections. Now, with the elections over, it is time to take stock.
Meant for me two very nice events with lots of international people, where the sharing of ideas during those meetings, to me personally, was more interesting than keeping up with all the different reports.
Well, it's given me the opportunity to learn more about politics in various European states that I wouldn't know very much about politics, like Bulgaria, Latvia, Brazil, or whatever. Before this competition, I knew more about US politics than I knew about European politics and other countries.
Before that, I didn't have any experience in blogging whatsoever. So for me, it was an opportunity to get introduced to the whole thing of blogging.
There is no competition between bloggers. Many of them just have a mission that they write because they want to write about things, to let other people know about issues. They think they're too little reported in the mainstream media. And so I would like to see it as an initiative.
Blogs played an influential role in the US presidential elections last year, but in the European Parliament elections, there appears to have been little impact from bloggers. What does that say about the European blogosphere?
Compared with the United States,